Welcome to Dallas Unfiltered with Rich Slack. I am Rich Slack. Thank you for joining me on our fourth episode of the Dallas Unfiltered podcast. This is October 20th, 2024. It's a Sunday afternoon. I just got my ballot in the mail yesterday, so ballots are in the mail for the general election. Don't forget to fill out those ballots and vote. Uh, the Dallas Area Chamber of Commerce and Polk County Association of Realtors held a candidate forum on October 9th, 2024. There was a great turnout. I attended. There was a dozen questions that were given to the candidates ahead of time, and we were asked a few of them in person. If you go to slackfordallas.com, that's slackfordallas.com, and click on the Q&A link on the website, there's a list of all the questions with the answers I've submitted. And at the end of this podcast, I'll answer a few of those questions here on the podcast. There's also a link at the bottom of that page to the Facebook live feed of the mayor candidates introducing themselves and answering some mayor-specific questions. Coming up tomorrow night on the agenda for the Monday, October 21st council meeting is a first reading of an ordinance number 1900, relating to illegal stormwater discharges and illicit stormwater connections, and adding new provisions to Chapter 6 of the Dallas City Code. There was some discussion last meeting about whether this would affect the ability to wash your personal vehicle in your driveway. The good news is that this ordinance provides an exception for this practice, so all is good regarding that concern. So let's hit a few of those questions that the Chamber and the Polk County Association of Realtors sent out. One of them was, what step would you support to promote home ownership and housing supply at all levels? I think the first thing you need to do is continue to make Dallas an attractive place to build and an attractive place for folks to live. We need to have a planning commission that functions well, and I believe we do have that. That's a great process for any exceptions that need to be made or anything that comes up in the development inside the community. I believe we need to continue to have a safe community, and that means supporting public safety. And I guess this is here I'll go on the record where I do support the new public safety facility for the police department downtown. There'll be some discussion coming up about that here in the future and on how to fund that and what that might look like. I think we really need to support the police department in that. 20 some years ago when I was started on the city council, it was an issue. Over the years, the police department has just kind of been wedged into places around City Hall. We did lease a little space next door at one point and put some offices in there, but they're spread out throughout the building. There's no continuity to the process there or to the flow of individuals through the department since they're so spread out, and there's just not enough space. I mean, we're long overdue. I'd say we're probably 30 years overdue for a new police facility specifically for public safety in Dallas. So I'm a big supporter of that. I hope the community will be a big supporter of that also. Like I said, it's long overdue, and we'll be seeing more about that here in the future. Back to the question. You also need to make sure that we have businesses that provide the services residents need. And I think we have a good mix of businesses downtown. There was another question on the list that says, do you think downtown Dallas is healthy and successful? If not, what would you do to change that? And I said, I think we have a healthy and successful downtown. I think it's great to see the buildings full with owners and tenants. And I think there's a good variety of businesses and services. I see there's a mental health business downtown now. That's great to see, along with all the other service industries we have, from fitness to salons for hair care, for self-care. I think things are going great downtown. There's always going to be improvements. Would be great to build our commercial businesses more in the community. So growth is good in that area, and we need to continue that. But I think things look pretty good right now. reminder, the question is, what step would you support to promote home ownership and housing supply at all levels? I think another thing you can do is realize that anything that affects permit and mitigation costs helps affordability. You need to look for a way to streamline permit approval and inspection processes. Uh, just keeping in mind that every day that reduces build time saves money and affects user in price. And so that's savings for the builder and saving for the buyer. And then another thing you can do is look for opportunities to partner with nonprofits, things like Habitat for Humanity that focus on affordable housing. That includes skin in the game from the recipients in the form of minimal qualifications and sweat equity. We were asked a couple of mayor only questions uh, at the forum and in the questions that were submitted to us. And one of those questions was, as mayor, what is the first step you would take in economic development of Dallas? And this is not my original idea. The city manager has brought up this idea, and it's time for some future thinking. It's time to work on the 2050 vision plan for Dallas. And I don't know if that's the 2050, the 2040, the 2045 plan, whatever we decide to call it. But we need to start visualizing what we want our community to look like 15 to 25 years from now and to do some real brainstorming out of the box thinking on it. I mean, our current vision plan is for 2030. There's a lot of um, vision from a wide view on what we think our community should look like in 2030. And a lot of those are things we're already doing now. We've already achieved those goals. But there's not a whole lot of meat in that vision plan. And I guess that's the nature of a vision plan. It's how you want things to look. It doesn't have the step by step things built into it that you do to achieve that vision. So I think that's what we need to work on. Maybe it's an amendment or an adjacent thing to the vision plan itself, but some real steps we might take or actions we might take, and more of an action plan than a vision plan, or an action plan related to that vision about things we might do or steps we might take to achieve that vision and at whatever that vision is we want to be in 2050. Related to that vision, on October 30th from 4 to 6 p.m. at City Hall, they're having a forum on the mill site development. As we went out and about, we had people who've asked questions about the mill site development. That's the south side of town, down at the end of the main street where the old lumber mill was, and sawmill was. And there's going to be a forum on that from 4 to 6 p.m., as I said, on October 30th. That's a Wednesday. And you can go and find out more information. I did provide a link on the website, and the city has a link on the website. I'll make sure that link is still current and updated and put that on slackfordallas.com on the podcast page and make sure there's a link to that. And that's 4 to 6, October 30th at City Hall. Okay, thank you for listening. I think I'll end with the first question they asked us, the chamber asked us, as what makes you stand out from other candidates in the mayoral election? And I reiterated at the meeting that I don't think I necessarily have these qualities unique to myself, um, but I'd say that one of my greatest character traits is that I'm impeccable with my word. I don't spend a lot of time making promises or apologies. I'm a person of action. I follow through. And if I make a mistake, I change my behavior. I don't continue to repeat those mistakes over and over again. And I don't just leave it with, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, and continue to do the same thing. I really look at it and try to change my behavior and do better and be better. The other thing is, I have a lot of practice in collaboration and negotiating through my previous experience on the council and my 13 plus years of service with the school district classified union bargaining team. So I have a lot of experience with meetings and discussing things with others from different perspectives and coming up with solutions. So with that, we'll end the podcast. Keep it short. I think we went over 10 minutes. That's the longest we've done. Of the four we've done, we went over 10 minutes, and I don't want to bore you to death. So please get out there and vote. I'd appreciate a vote for Rich Slack for mayor. But regardless of who you choose, get out there and vote. It's important that we all uh, speak our mind on the ballot and select those folks that will represent us in the future at the local level and beyond. Remember to check out slackfordallas.com and keep subscribed to the Dallas Unfiltered with Rich Slack podcast. I will get more updates here in the future. Hopefully, we have a great election and everybody's happy with the results.